Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mona and my YouTube channel is all about grocery hauls, recipes, and lifestyle in general. Let's go ahead and make shepherd's pie together. Here you can see me peeling the potatoes and I've got my lamb out thawing. Before I cook the potatoes, I make sure to rinse them thoroughly up to a couple of times, and sometimes I just leave them in the water. I'm going to cut the potatoes into smaller pieces so that they can cook faster, and it takes about 15 minutes for them to become tender. And the potatoes are ready to go into the pot. As for the meat, it was okay. The only problem was that there were fragments of bones everywhere, especially in the fat, so I had to rinse it thoroughly and double check. I am cutting the lamb into cubes with these scissors because it's easier that way. You can also use minced lamb if you can find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I am making the broth from the bones and adding some flour into the meat. I'm going to chop up some onions. Checking for the potatoes, they're nice and tender so they can be taken out. And now let's go and make the sauce. So for the filling, we're going to fry up the onions, grate in some garlic, and when the onions are clear or browned, we are going to add in our meat. And since the carrots were pretty tough, I thought the best way to add them into the sauce would be to grate them finally. And that's what I'm doing here. And when the meat is nice and brown, we can add in the carrots. The recipe calls for peas and I'm adding frozen peas here because I prefer them better to the canned ones. Adding some parsley and some oregano. I couldn't find thyme, so I'm using what I've got on hand. Here you can see me straining the broth so that we avoid all those little bones from getting into our pie. I've added some broth into the filling and now I'm making the mashed potatoes. Adding some butter, some salt, and I am mashing them like this because it's easier, but you could definitely use a blender. Since the sauce is nice and thick, we can assemble our pie. I haven't really measured anything for this recipe, so make sure to check out the ingredients and the instructions in the description below. You want to add your mashed potatoes on the top of the filling in these big dollops so that it doesn't get mixed with the filling. And once you're done doing that, you can go ahead and level the mash. Make sure it's nice and smooth. I didn't really place it that great, but it's fine. It worked out in the end. Don't forget to decorate it with the fork. And to make it extra crisp and brown, add some bits of butter. Bake for about 20 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Now we can go ahead and make the gravy. And I am using the pan in which I've prepared the filling. I'm just adding some butter, and then I'm going to fry up some flour. Use the remaining broth and add some salt and pepper. Just make sure you add enough butter. Otherwise, your flour is going to get really thick and lumpy. Here I'm adding some broth to fix the whole situation because my flour did get really lumpy. But the gravy tasted great in the end. And here's our end result. And here's our gravy. I hope you liked this recipe, and if you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the end, my shepherd's pie ended a little bit mushy, but the taste was great. Have a nice day. Bye!